The sun should start on and see the passion for a young Elrond, a young Galadriel. But it's cool. But that youth and passion female feels that he's he's so good at false miracles. How far left did we might be, but he or else if kids for 500 years they are not of age and now this day and age not only is social Robert and Robert and Armadale or Armadale or not only well, but he looks like he was the Don Buffalo and the guy who put out he was off the loyal version of some mischief that he believing is better. Um, it's Robert Armayo. Yeah, he was born in 1992. And so he was crazy. And that's insane. I mean, the weird thing that he was this man. Um, this and people actually so the late age, under the age, and under the age. I don't see any reason to capture the secret that must mean the little bit FBI to make it seem a younger version of the CD from 2000 years old. But it's weird. I wouldn't know what you're gonna do with that. It could be flashbacks. I don't know. I don't know what it should need to be very in flashbacks. I'm sure probably that's like the third page. Right? I mean, right, and that's the thing that Galadriel is from the first page. She's Elrond is younger by far. And Galadriel is like, of course at this point I brain fantasy. I believe Galadriel is directly related to like people like one of the few elves that like killed Elrond on his own. In Wars and whatnot. But like, so especially her, how far back do you need to go to get a teenage Galadriel? Actually, I believe not be that age sometimes Galadriel should not have she in the first stage, early in the second age, from words, basic, or important things that happen to you that show is on to not necessarily focus on, but involve beyond the more despair, the more in from behind all that or from the island, which is actually in significant some like Lord brings God and Luthor. Didn't see that because they're worshiping evil. Okay, so let's back a little bit. So this series, we learned is just announced the series should be the season will come out on Netflix September 6th, in 2022. So almost a year from now. And Brandon is should be the second page. And essentially that is going to be during the times with the forging of the Rings of Power. Right? So, I think that's cool. with the announcement of the Exodus Thursday. So the announcement with the show's release date, it was posted with a picture that is still from the show. In the picture, if you look closely, it has Teresa where the book she's about to and probably those two names wrong because some people probably say that they have honestly never said it. That's fine. The trees, some trees are, there's a gold tree and a silver tree. The tree is called Lowland, and then silver tree is called, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Telperion. Telperion. And these trees are right in the land of Venetian times. So, after your base of Saturn, they believe that these trees, at least at one point, they will be listed on the island. Yeah, there's also a picture of the map that posted that had before there. Yeah, it's honestly it's a really cool opportunity to delve deeper into all of that. Because but the Marine person policy was like the Chinese example and and could be at least some stories of her and so early and stuff like that. They start to worship evil and that's Aragorn and his family who were bred with kings of Numenor. They shared their faith and citizens actually sailed away from the island before it was swallowed by the sea. That line exists. Really interesting. I don't remember specifically what time that actually happened. I don't know if Aragorn was alive when the war started. I don't know if it happened that closely in the family of Thorin. She held it all the interesting people age that with all of that forever. It is destroying certain age, so that does happen. But I don't know if there's any specifics on that. Um, it's interesting. For me, I still have heard the Silmarillion. I would like to her audiobook actually is that I have to do some really serious stuff and I'm not sure you see that on YouTube. On the on YouTube for like 7 hours long and you can see that. So what do you guys have any hopes for the show? I mean, is there any I don't know, I want to see cameos. Are there any certain characters that have been from Lord of the Rings you want to see, or at least any mentions, or certain like, races within Middle Earth that you might see? So, iconic of swords, anything that if anybody prefer them to stick with it's just honest. Less it's about the hobbits and I mean in something that the Wolverines there's still many people who don't see this even in this Wolverines because they made the season so much good. So it might be funny if there was like a call, a super call that I think that was better for me. And then this is just more like I just need a more spirit on this stuff. Something that would be funny. Look at characters. I think I know Ian Counts super old, but I think if he showed up in some kind of way, it had to be from a holiday like White Castle moment with Galadriel and Lockdown. It is something in that kind of a year of like There's family who said that line in a bunch traded fish from powerful beings on Lateral and Elrond. Maybe after we see some flashbacks, but like, then either having or watching situation and for the similarities of what's happening in the place, that would be cool. But again, I think because happens probably my biggest hope is that it feels like a mini story. It's not just love Peter Jackson work. I don't want this referred to Peter Jackson. How often that feels symbolic those unique bits to understand the universe in a different way. That's useful. The thing that's about that I don't know what the subject matter is. It's just the magic with Wolverines. They're all a big fan of them. That's probably the biggest. My biggest hope for it is that they just focus on telling and stories faithful to that source material or what's inspired the and time, focusing on things are really Wolverines and so that happened. Let's see it. You find that people references or not actually something or not letting my hearing on that one person or like Max voice or others are famous books and movies are really fun. Fit on those in it has something good story focused show. And I hope that people keep an open mind to I'm trying to develop this like Lord of the Rings was amazing. And I think I met one person who was like, oh, about Lord of the Rings. And maybe around that person just showed that, oh, I'm sure maybe that's ever been that Lord of the Rings. It was so well done. And so probably like watch anything on Earth and be like, that isn't made by Peter Jackson or I mean, and it wasn't that hot, it's so different than Wolverine. It's apparently you just can't do it. And then, for example, Solo, right? Star Wars, the movie Solo. I love that movie. That's an unpopular opinion, but I loved it, and I still love it. I think one of the main reasons people hated it was because of, like, oh, well, Harrison Ford, that wasn't on, and that, obviously, Harrison Ford's freaking 80 years old or whatever. He's, he's at a point where he's not going to be on. And, so people hated it for reasons like that. They say, oh, it's the name, like, or just keep up on have fun with it. I want a super fun show that is Middle Earth, right? Like, Dan was saying, it true to the content it's based off of, true to the pulp and woman, and it's fun, I think. And because, like, we talk about kind of cameos or whatever. Even if it was, if they brought in like a story that was like young Aragorn or whatever, I would have a hard time because Viggo Mortensen did a perfect job of portraying Aragorn, and nobody can live up to it. And so it's like a younger version would just be like, I don't know about this. So I'm like kind of scared on cameos, but I like nods, like you guys are saying, like nods to this character, or nods, reference to this character, or something like that. But it's sad because there's so many interesting stories that go along with like Aragorn specifically. Like we talked about how he, he goes and lives in Rohan with what's his face? I'm blanking completely. The king of Rohan during Lord of the Rings. Theoden, yeah. Theoden. So like,
that's a cool story, and he fights in wars and stuff. Like that's cool stuff. But I just get worried about those little cameos sometimes.
Yeah, I think something that we I think this is kind of what you guys are talking about. Something I hope they avoid is, there's no other way to put it. I don't want them to go down the sexual route
Yeah,
that a lot of shows end up going down.
yeah,
I don't want this to be Game of Thrones with the flair of Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
Yeah. So I saw that too. The episodes are being directed by the director of the Witcher series. I love the Witcher series. I watched it. I thought it was great. And The Witcher itself, that subject material is racier than Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
So that kind of stuff fit. It was okay. You didn't feel out of place in that world. But if they try to kind of pigeonhole that into Lord of the Rings, it's not gonna fit.
Yeah.
It's just there's a time and place for that. Artistically, whatever you want to say about that. But Lord of the Rings was written by a very, very religious and conservative dude who probably wouldn't want that for his subject material. But that's something I hope they try to avoid. Also, language. Like, I feel like that just wouldn't fit. I think I was saying the other day, I think it would be funny if there was like a random dwarf character that might be a little gruff and say a curse word here and there. That might be funny. But the time period and the subject matter, it just wouldn't feel right if like the characters that we already established and know if they're being reprised in a younger role are just like, oh, F off, like just it's like, okay,
And like, I want to say too, like, I like Game of Thrones and I like The Witcher too. So it's not like, the swearing really bothers me too much, to be honest. Um, I don't care, but like you said, it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't fit with Middle Earth. I mean, from what we've gotten, and I'm talking books, everything that we have gotten Middle Earth, so books, movies, whatever, there's no swearing, there's nothing like that. So it just doesn't fit. And then with the sexual stuff, again, like I love Game of Thrones, but I also know that most people don't care. Like most people don't want to see that stuff. We'd rather see blood and gore. We'd rather see a more driven story. You can hint at sexual stuff like that. They do that in movies all the time. And they could even do that in Lord of the Rings where you kind of hint at stuff. But I don't really see any reason for really showing any explicit stuff like Game of Thrones has done or even Witcher has done. Again, I love those shows, but it just doesn't fit with Middle Earth like you were saying.
I totally agree with that. I've always felt like Brian was saying, there's like artistic reasons, or from like the source material, like Witcher. I've read the books, and there are racy parts in it, but it's not all about that. I don't know. Yeah, I want that. But I was just thinking about something that I want to see in the show, and I want to see Tom Bombadil.
Oh, dude.
He was totally left out of Lord of the Rings. It'd be, I just love, even if it's like just a brief little moment or something like that, I just love to see him.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Would he be alive? How old is Tom Bombadil?
He's like eternal.
Oh, is he? I don't know very much. I love Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth stuff, but I'm very new to.
He's a nature spirit. Like he's the spirit of what's the forest? I think he's just the spirit of nature.
Oh, it's like Moss Man.
It's the old forest.
That would be
He's all like he has lived in this. They go into like it's the very first book. The hobbits at the beginning of their journey end up in this area that's full of barrows, which are burial mounds. So they're just mounds where people were buried in mass, and so they are haunted by barrow witches. and there's spirits that have magic that try to take the souls of individuals that walk by the barrows, and Tom Bombadil just rolls up and like basically tells all these spirits to go to sleep, and they do. Like it's like the stuff that he does. Like in the series, in the book, he saves them multiple times. He's kind of like not in the same venue, but he's the Peeves of Lord of the Rings, where he's just not mentioned in the movies of Harry Potter. But he's a very pivotal, that's not a word, pivotal character in the book. Pivotal. Peeves is the catalyst that pushes a lot of different interesting things in a lot of in a few moments of the book. Same with Tom Bombadil. He just shows up, does something crazy, and then just goes away. And the audiobook is so hard to listen to.
Yeah, but it's long.
Yeah,
That's a great version.
The original Lord of the Rings books are songs. It's really hard.
They're so hard to listen to.
The audiobook, which was done in like the 40s, sounds
So
the audio quality is terrible. The guy's like, and he's just like, what is happening right now?
It's like, you can tell they like recorded it like on a record with like an old like telephone sort of situation. It's so bad. Yeah. It gets worse though when they get to the Ents and Treebeard song. Oh my gosh. And you want to like hear the audiobooks. See, like I wanted to, but I never listened to the books before or read them before, and so I was like, I have to endure this. I have to get the full effect, and I did, and I endured. You're better man than that.
This is an interesting fact about Tom Bombadil, that he's easily one of the most powerful entities in Middle-earth. He's more powerful than the wizards. He's more powerful than Sauron and Smaug. And the only reason that the ring, because Frodo has the ring at the beginning of like the Fellowship when he sees them in the forest. I think that in that, I don't remember if this happens or not, but somehow he sees the ring, and I think he tosses it aside because it's just junk to him. He's so much more powerful than what it is that he just sees it as junk. Like, it's pretty insane.
I want to do like some like fan art of like Tom Bombadil, like the most majestic painting of like Tom Bombadil on like a horse with a sword, and just like just running over like Smaug or something, just like wrecking these powerful people in Middle Earth with no problem. That'd be cool. Who knew? Tom Bombadil. I love his picture.
Yeah, there's interesting things that says that he's not a living thing. Like, he's existed before the elves, he's existed before trees, or even on the planet they live on is Arda, by the way, if you didn't know. But like he predates basically life itself. And so like some people have speculated that he's actually the earthly presence of Eru Ilúvatar, like the god of the world, and that when he wants to just kind of be weird, he just becomes Tom Bombadil, just hangs out in the forest. Because like that's the only thing that makes sense for him to be as strong as he is and to be as seemingly indifferent, but actually like pushes the heroes along their path to make sure that certain things are done correctly. It's kind of he's an interesting character. That's a good call, Dan. That's a very good call.
Very good call.
Interesting.
To kind of go back to the show, we'll end it on this kind of more information note, but. So I'm reading, it says, the plot will cover, by the way, I'm reading from the one wiki to rule them all, the Lord of the Rings wiki. So it says, the plot will cover events of the Second Age. A preliminary interactive map featured on the Amazon Prime Video site seems to point towards the show being set in the mid-Second Age, circa 1500 to 1701. This period does not feature an adventure story, but rather I still don't know how to pronounce this word,
Machiavellian
drama, thank you, of the forging of the rings of power in a region, but where
Origin?
no, it's like Eregion, whatever.
Sure.
Whereby Sauron, disguised
What?
as Anatar, convinces Celebrimbor and the Murdain Guild to forge the Rings of Power. So basically, I mean, we have where it's going to be. There's like a time between, I mean, it's 200 years, 1500 to 1701, that this story will be done. I think the craziest thing about this TV series is that just for the first season,
It's a Region, but yeah.
oh, thank you. Just for the first season, the budget was around 650 million New Zealand dollars. I do not know what that is in American dollars, but still, that's
You don't know the
insane.
transfer rate?
No, I don't. But it's still like I imagine it's not a huge difference. That's a lot of money. I believe I read once that that is the most the biggest budget for any TV series in history, and that's including Game of Thrones, which had a massive budget. But I have high hopes for this series.
Me too.
I can't wait.
I just read that it says the Tolkien estate will have veto power on strategy and vision for the show. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully
Yeah.
they're pretty chill people.
I've heard they're strict with their stuff, so I'm hoping they'll be good
That's
on
good.
that part.
I'm pretty sure that most of what comprises that organization is still direct relatives of Tolkien himself.
Yeah. I
So,
hope so. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's a great show. I don't know. Do you get? I don't have any more information I want to talk about. Do you guys? You guys good?
I think that there's certain cameos that make sense. There's others that don't. I think the only main character from Lord of the Rings that would theoretically be alive, the few that would the ones we've mentioned already: Galadriel, Elrond, Gandalf. He's been around since the beginning, as well as possibly Legolas if they wanted to go down that route. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because
Bring him back
Aragorn
again.
and Legolas seem like they've known each other for a long time. So if they're gonna center around young Aragorn, maybe they do the moment that Aragorn and Legolas met. Like, they could do something like that.
Maybe.
They could.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, I love Andy Serkis. I love Gollum. I love Schmeagol, but he wouldn't be alive, right? So it wouldn't make sense for that to be there. It wouldn't make sense for Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin to be there
How
because
do you even
they're
build on
all, yeah. Frodo's in his 50s when Lord of the Rings is happening.
Yeah.
So let's say that because let's say that it's young Aragorn and he's in his 30s. Frodo would have just been born, like, so it just doesn't make sense. So I hope that they don't try to. I like when they do. What's the term I'm looking for? I'm
Mandalorian season 1.
No, fan service.
Okay.
I like when fan service is done, but I don't like it when it's overdone.
Overkill.
Like-
Yeah.
Or when they the end of Mandalorian season 2 and Luke Skywalker showing up.
Ugh.
It could have been there's probably other options that they could have gone. Not probably, there were other options they could have gone down that would not have been such a pigeonhole. And that's what it felt like, is that they just rammed Luke in there for no reason. And that's what I think, if there's something that I want them to avoid, is them just putting in known characters even though it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Just because they want a face that everyone knows. And I'm sure most of the original cast would be super on board. You know what I mean? They'd be like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like, the only thing I could find acceptable, and I would be totally okay with this, is if it was like the first episode, it's Samwise Gamgee gathering his kids and is like, I'm going to tell you a story. That would be dope.
It's
But
like-
aside from
like
that,
Bilbo from Lord of the Rings at the beginning.
Right. Because Frodo says you got to finish your last part of the book, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's him just looking through stories and telling stories to his kids. That would be really cool. aside from that, I don't want
doubt
them to do that. I've said my piece on that point, but there you go.
Yeah, I agree. Fan service can be great. I enjoy some fan service, but the thing that I find weird about fan service for massive franchises, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or whatever, it's it's like you don't even need fan service. Like people are going to watch it anyway. If it says Star Wars on it, people are going to watch it. If it says Lord of the Rings or Middle Earth or whatever this show's going to be called, people are going to watch it. There is no need to overload us with fan service because we're going to enjoy it. And I think that goes for everything. But for real, like I'm excited for the show. I hope they do a great job. The writers and the directors all have great credentials. Like you said, there's Witcher. I saw one of the writers is Game of Thrones. I mean, there's like 3 directors and 3 writers, and so I have high hopes.
It's gonna be good.
But I'm
We'll be
excited.
there.
Yeah.
We'll give our review. Most interested in Dan's because his reviews are always the most entertaining.
Yes, they are.
Insightful.
Yes.
I am a critique.
Your critique. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Like we said, well, I don't know, we didn't even really say it at the beginning, but you can find us on basically any platform that you can listen to podcasts on.
Dan, what am I, a joke to you?
I'm pretty sure I talked about it.
He just takes his headset off and just throws it, closes his computer.
Yeah, quit,
I'm out.
quit,
I'm
quit.
done. Take me off of the name. Like I'm out of here. But yeah, you could join our Discord. We have an Instagram. Join that. Our episodes come out every Thursday. What else? Anything else? No? Any
Stay
last
beautiful.
last words? Yeah, stay beautiful. Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do good. Next time you go get fast food, pay for the guy behind you.
That's really nice. Thanks, guys.
There's no one
Thanks.
behind me, but okay.
Thanks. He just pay for the meal next. Thanks for
How
listening.
much is the guy behind me? So this is a Chili's.
Hi, welcome to Chili's. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
The Council of Nerds.